Okay, more equation solving. You got x a second, that's two answers. You're set with the 0 because you got that x also not to the second. So first thing, look for a GCF. Now underline what you have other than the 0. There's two terms. They both contain x, so you want to put x here. Now 3 and 9 are the two numbers you're looking at. So 3 factors of 3 divided by 1, get 3. 3 divided by 2, get decimal, and then you're back to 3. So let's see if 9 divides by 3. I believe it does. I know 3 does because that's over here. So I put a 3 with the x. It's positive because that's a positive in front. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. That x goes away, and that just becomes regular x. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Those x's go bye-bye, okay? So I'm pretty well good to go, okay? I have my factor 1. I have my factor 2. So 3 times x could equal 0. 1 times x plus 3 could equal 0. Divide by 3, 0. Minus 3, you get negative 3. You don't really need to divide by 1. Okay, next problem, 2 answers. You are not set, okay? Because you can't do that F1, F2 equals 0 unless the 0's here. It's not here, okay? So we can take away 28x, but I can't minus 28x from 14x a second, so I put that behind it. So remember, you got to rewrite the equation. You have x a second, you got 14 of them. For x's, you got minus 28 of those. And you don't have any numbers without x, so you go equals 0. So there's only two terms, so see what the GCF is, okay? Well, you got x on both those terms. X is common to both. Put equals 0. 14 and 28, so 14. 14 divided by 1 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Divide 3, 4, 5, you get decimals, and 6 is a decimal, and then I'm back at 7, so that's all the factors. Okay, so test your highest factor. See if 28 divides by 14. It does. Okay, so 14 divided by 14 is 1, and then you'd still have x, and then negative 28 divided by 14 is negative 2, so minus 2. Get rid of those. Okay, now you're set for your F1, F2. Because now, remember, this equaled 0. All I did here is just break it into two parts. It's still equal to 0, okay? So 14 times x could equal 0, or 1 times x minus 2 could equal 0. Divide by 14, 0, plus 2, you get 2. 0 and 2. Okay, next problem, 2 answers. 0's there, we're set. Now underline the terms you have on the other side. Only 2 of them to worry about. X is common to both of them. 12 and 3. Factors of 3, 1 and 3. Doesn't divide by 2, get decimal, and then back to 3. Okay, 12 divided by 3 is 4, so 3 is going to work. But we do want to make it negative because I have a negative in the front. So that's positive 4. That goes to 4x, and that's plus 1. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1. Then those cancel. Remember, you're still equal to 0, though. Okay, that's all you're doing is taking this side and rewriting it in a different formation. Because now that formation gives me 2 less complex. So negative 3 times x is 0. 4 times x plus 1 could equal 0. So I divide by negative 3, I get 0. Minus 1. 4 times x equals negative 1. This is a decimal, so negative 1/4. Just leave it negative 1/4. Okay, next one, 2 answers. You're not set. You need to subtract 14x, but you can't subtract it from 4x to the second. So you have 4x to the second minus 14x equals 0. So now you got 2 terms. Find the greatest common factor. Well, you got x common to both, and 4 and 14. 1 and 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Twin factors means that's the end of the factoring. Okay, 14 divided by 4 is a decimal. 14 divided by 2 is not, it's 7, so 2x. It's positive because the front number is positive. That becomes 2. That becomes x. That becomes negative 7. Okay? Now remember, this is still equal to 0. All I did was take this side and write it in a different formation. 2x times 2x minus 7. Okay, so 2x equals 0. 1x minus 2x minus 7 equals 0. So divide by 2, you get 0. Plus 7, 2x equals 7. Divide by 2. That's a decimal. Just leave it 7 over 2. Okay, next page. 2 answers. And you are not set. Okay, you got 1x second minus 13x plus 24. Then you get this, well, we want 0 here, so plus 12. Now, can I add 12 to 1x a second? No, I cannot. Can I add it to negative 13x? No. Can I add it to 24? Yeah, neither of them have an x, so they'd go nicely together. Okay, so I have 1x to the second minus 13x, and then 24 plus 12 is 36. Now you're set. Now you got 3 terms here, so first identify what your greatest common factor is. You don't have x on all 3, so you don't put x here. And then 1, 13, and 36. 1's the smallest, but the only factor is 1. So anything divides by 1, but that means that's a waste of time to even worry about. So then I go make my table. I go A, B, C. Then I take 1 times A times C. It's 36 positive. So we're going to add to try to come up with 13. 13 is negative. No, just forget about that till later. 1 and 36, that's not 13. 36 divided by 2 is 18. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 12 plus 3, no. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Okay, now 13 is negative. That means the higher factor is negative. You're going to have minus 9. And a plus up here means the signs have to be the same. So minus 4. So A is 1. Once I see A is 1, I'm good. I'm good to go. I can just make my parentheses because I know that's x times x. And I know this times this has to be positive 36, which minus 4 times minus 9 is. Okay, so x minus 4 could equal 0. Remember, this still equals 0. I'm just writing it in a different form. Okay, so plus 4, you get 4. Plus 9, you get 9. 4 and 9. Okay, next one, looking like 2 answers. And again, you're not set, okay? So add 13x. That can't be added to 1x a second, and it sure as heck can't be added to the negative 8. So we put that up here. Minus 6. Now 6 didn't have a letter, so it can't go with 1x second, but it can go with your negative 8. Now you got to write this in the proper order. The x to the second comes first, then the x, which is 13x, and then I need to take, it's not just 8 minus 6, it's negative 8 minus 6. That's negative 14, so minus 14 equals 0. Okay, so now we're set. And after I'm set, I underline all the terms on the other side and identify greatest common factor. X here, not here, so we can't go with x. And then 1, 13, and 14 is just 1. So if 1's the smallest number, it's got to be 1, which means that's a waste of time because dividing by 1 doesn't change anything. Okay, it's just a waste. So then I make my ABC table. And always multiply your A by C. 1 times negative 14 is negative 14. So negative means we're going to do a minus, and we're trying to get to 13, which is positive. 1 and 14, that's 13. Okay, so 13's plus, that makes 14 plus, and we have a negative up there, so the signs are opposite. Okay, a is a 1, so again, you can ignore that, and x to the second is just x times x. Minus 1 plus 14. Remember, this still equals 0. All you did was take this side, write it in a different form. So f1, f2. So x minus 1 equals 0. X plus 14 equals 0. So plus 1, I get 1. Minus 14, I get negative 14. Okay, next two, there's two answers. And this bad boy's set already, okay? So don't have to change anything. This side is set to be factored. Okay, x is not on everything, okay? 1, 7, 10 would just be 1, okay? So that's a waste of time. One times 10 is 10. That's add to try to make 7. Okay. 1 and 10, nope. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, your 7 up there's negative. That means 5's negative, and we have a positive, so the signs have to be the same. So they'd both be negative. You can't change that one back, okay? Again, your a is a 1, so you know the x squared is just x times x, and then minus 2 minus 5 multiplies to 10. Now remember, is this still equal to 0? So x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0. Two, 5. Okay, last one, two answers. Once again, this is not set. You need to subtract the 18. That can't be subtracted from 1x a second. It can't be subtracted from negative 7x, so we put it behind. That's 1x second minus 7x minus 18 equals 0. Now we're set to go. Okay, briefly look at the three terms. Is x on all three? No. 1, 7, and 18 would just be a 1. Okay, that's a waste of time then. One times negative 18 is negative 18, and I'm minusing then if it's negative, because to get 7. 7's negative, okay. 118, that ain't 7. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. Now about that negative, that means that is applied to the larger factor. We have a negative up there, so the signs are opposite. So it's going to be plus 2 minus 9. A is 1. So again, your x squared is x times x. Then 18 is positive 2 times negative 9. Okay, x plus 2 equals 0. X minus 9 equals 0. So you get negative 2 and 9.